And we're back. Very many thanks for choosing to stay with us. And in case you're just joining us, welcome to Kenya's Gold, where the focus of the day is on rice farming in Kenya. And in this particular moment, we do want to have a look at the market performance of rice in the last year, that is 2023. And we'll start by looking at the area of land under rice. If you look at 2022, the area of land under rice was 29,931 hectares, and in 2023 it increased to 31,671. So we are talking about an increase of 1,740 hectares of land. Now we are going to move into the production. Since there was an increase in the area of land under rice, it's kind of almost expected that the production will be more. Is that the case? Let's find out together. In 2022, our production was at 122,045 metric tons, and in 2023 our production increased to 150,819 metric tons. Here we're talking about an increase of 28,774 metric tons. Now this increase is attributed to factors like availability of the subsidy fertilizer, use of modern technology like the combine harvester that we have just seen in our feature, and also availability of quality farm inputs. Now we want to look at the financial value of the rice produced locally. In 2022, the worth was at 6.6 billion Kenya shillings. In 2023, that increased to 8.15 billion Kenya shillings. So we are talking about an increase of 1.55 billion Kenya shillings. So how much rice are we importing as a country? In 2022, we were importing about 664,200 metric tons, and in 2023 our importation increased to 930,930 metric tons. Here we are talking about an increase of 266,730. You might ask, why did we have an increase in the importation? That has been attributed to by an increase of population in the country and also a change in the dietary habits of different people in the country. And finally, let us have a look at how much rice we are exporting as a country. In 2022, our export was at 196 metric tons, and in 2023 our exports increased to 1,372. We are talking about an increase of 1,176 metric tons, and this data has been verified by the AFA Yearbook of Statistics. So in case you've been wondering, how much rice are we producing locally, how much rice are we exporting, how much rice are we importing, you have all your answers from that presentation. For now, let us continue learning a lot more about the storage of rice in Ahero Rice Irrigation Scheme and its subsidiaries. For how long does rice stay in the storage area before it's released to the market?
It depends on how we have the customers. The market also depends on how long the paddy can stay here.
What conditions should be met in this storage area so that you also make sure that you maintain the quality of your rice?
First of all, once we harvest it, we have to dry it to the moisture content of 13. Then thereafter we put in the stores here so that they don't get wet anymore.
So when we are drying to a moisture content of 13%, inamaanisha wakati ambapo tulikuwa tuna harvest, it was at what moisture
around
content?
27 moisture content.
Right.
Yes.
And does that cut across every rice variety?
Exactly. But it varies around 27, 28 to around 20. the moisture content. Then again, it sort of varies when is it being harvested. Is it rainy seasons or drying seasons?
Right.
Yeah, so can also bring the issue of moisture content.
Now, tell me, probably I'm harvesting during the sunny season. What is the moisture content going to be like?
It will be roughly from between 18 to 22.
Right.
Yes.
And then again, we dry to 13.
We dry to 13.
And if I do it during the rainy season?
No, it will be higher, or even to 30.
Now, what also happens when a farmer is drying their rice, but it's also during the rainy season? How do you make sure that you still attain the 13% moisture content?
It becomes so tiresome because the farmers has to re-dry that rice for a longer period for it to dry. In other words, that now we need to have a dryer to make the farmers work very easy. Because you don't have it here, the dryer can go to the drying floor more than 4 times before the paddy comes to a moisture content of 13.
How long does that take for us to achieve a 13% moisture content on a condition whereby it's a sunny season?
It's 2 days. 2 days will be okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, now after storage, there's an order, comes the milling. Take us through the milling process right here at Ahero.
Once we dry our paddy and is ready for the milling purposes, first of all, we have to look for the market. The market we get from the government institutions, like the KNTC. After that, we do small milling first with the mill we have in our office, which can do 240 kg per hour. But that is very slow. We can't manage to mill the entire paddy we have in our store here. It forces us to seek for more assistance because the cooperative we have is not able to buy the paddy from the farmers and mill and supply the government. We seek the intervention of the cooperative bank, who came in handy to give us some loan to pay the farmers in advance first before we can mill their paddy. So once we are ready to mill the paddy, we transport. It forces us sometimes back to transport all this paddy to Mwea, so that we go and mill in Mwea before we supply the government.
Right.
Yes.
And those are also job opportunities that would have been created right
here
within
somewhere else.
Given that you're working with this small milling machine, which can mill about 240 kgs of rice in an hour, if you do a comparison with the bigger machines that are up to date with modern technology, how many tons of rice can be milled in an hour?
The bigger mill mills around 3 tons per hour, which is far much above what we have. So that is why we seek the assistance of the Mwea scheme, the Mwea Rice Growers Cooperative, to help this other cooperative to mill their paddy in Mwea and supply the government. Right. Yes.
Now, does this mill that we have here also cater for the other subsidiaries for Ahero or those other regions?
We used to have a mill here in Ahero, but it went down and the county government installed the new mill. So the new mill is not yet operational. So that is why we transport our mill there. So once it becomes operational, then we mill our paddy here in Ahero.
Right. Do you by any chance have a timeline when you think that mill will be operational to make the work of our farmers here easier?
They promised to start it soon, but we are waiting for the commissioning of that mill.
Right.
So we are yet to know the date.
So we can follow up on that right here.
Exactly.
To make sure that it's operational and functioning for the sake of our farmers.
Exactly.
Maybe before I put a full stop to it, maybe you can talk to a young person who's wondering if rice farming is a venture that they can get themselves into, given that you've been in this for a very long time, you've worked with farmers in cooperative societies.
Yes.
What advice can you give to that young person watching?
I want to say this. We as rice farmers, we need to come together to join cooperative, and we ensure we have a very proactive cooperative like Purbear to ensure that we collect our produce together so that we can get the market and have bargaining power as a cooperative. I want to say the rice production is like any other business and it has a lot of income, that if the young people can venture into it and put a lot of their time and energy, then the people within the society will grow. It can open our markets, it will increase our capital base, and it will employ many and many youths within our society. Because the milling has got a lot, the rice process has got a lot of processes, from the land preparation to the harvesting, to the drying, to the milling, to the supply. All that employs people. So once we put it as a business, we'll have a big number of young people being employed by the rice growing sector.
Right. And what is the meaning of Purbear? I'm very curious.
Purber is ni ukulima bora.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you so very much, Mr. David.
Thank you.
For speaking to us and teaching us about the entire harvesting process right here in Ahero Rice Irrigation Scheme.
Thank you.
Now, it has been an absolute pleasure learning about the process of harvesting rice all the way to storage and the milling process as well. And like I promised you during our interview with Mr. David, we will most definitely follow up with the county government to make sure that the milling factory right here in Ahero is open and functional for all the rice farmers in this region, because it makes absolutely no sense at all for our farmers to work so hard and produce rice, then they have to transport all that rice to where? For milling and take job opportunities there, yet there are young people in this region that can get that job done. Thank you so very much for journeying with us, but please do keep it Kenya's Gold, because we still do have a lot more in store for you. What a journey on rice farming in Kenya. We have planted, we have harvested, we have stored our rice, we have milled and processed our rice together right here at Kenya's Gold. So now I believe as you enjoy your rice back at home, you do have a better understanding of how it came to be. And allow me to share even more good news right now. You remember, farmers in Ahero, rice farmers in Ahero, did not have a factory where they can mill their rice. They had to take their rice all the way to where for the milling to happen. But that is not going to be the case anymore, because recently in the Lake Basin, a factory, a rice factory was launched in the region, Kisumu County, and now our rice farmers can process and mill their rice in Kisumu without having to bear the cost of going back all the way to Mwea and also taking job opportunities there. So that is something that we're very, very happy about right here at Kenya's Gold, because at the end of the day, we are very keen on making sure that our farmers are taken care of. So that is some absolutely good news.